Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Ain binti Ahmad. The topic for my final year project is a case study determining technology acceptance of Touch and Go e-wallet. Introduction. Electronic payment system has continued to expand in recent years. The adoption of e-wallet remained unfavorable despite the emergence of Malaysia as the monetizing country. TAM has been used by many researchers to study the acceptance of e-wallet in Malaysia. However, the link between subjective norm, perceived trust, and security are still in infant stage. Thus, I will investigate the relationship between perceived ease of use, perceived usefulness, subjective norm, perceived trust, and perceived risk and security to use Touch and Go e-wallet. Literature review. The technology acceptance model. Technology acceptance model was introduced by Fred Davis in 1989. Time are widely used to identify the factors which lead to user acceptance or rejection of technology. Not just that, Turner et al. 2010 stated that time is used to forecast the profitability of new technology accepted and adopted within a group and an organization. Others theory of TAM. Davis 1989 adapted theory of reason action (TRA) to develop TAM. The TRA structure can predict an individual usage of technology by behavioral intention where it links with PU and PEOU. Based on theory of reason action, we can assert that the usage of technology by an individual can be predicted. However, using TRA structure can understand more about the acceptance of technology. Not just that, Venkatesh et al. 2003 developed a unified theory that combines various theories and models of technology acceptance that integrated the components of a technology acceptance model. The four determinants in the structure are performance expectancy, effort expectancy, social influence, and facilitating conditions. Therefore, this structure is regarded to be more powerful than other technology acceptance models for evaluating technology acceptance. Research hypothesis: perceived ease of use is the extent to which persons believe that using technology will be free of effort. Hypothesis 1: POU will have significant influence on BI of using e-wallet. For hypothesis 6, POU will have significant influence on PU. Next is perceived usefulness. Is the extent to which person believe that using a particular system will improve his or her job performance. Hypothesis 2. PU will have significant influence on BI of using e-wallet. Besides that, subjective norm is the extent to which an individual perception that his or her decision to perform the behavior will be affected by the people who are important to him or her. Hypothesis 3. SN will have a significant influence on BI of using e-wallet. Moreover, perceived of trust is the extent to which a person have another entity to perform expected activities without taking advantages. Hypothesis 4. PT will have a significant influence on BI of using e-wallet. Finally, perceived risk and security is the extent to which a person believes that transaction on mobile payment platform is secure in both financial and personal information aspect to avoid unexpected loss. Hypothesis 5. PRS will have significant influence on BI of using e-wallet. The researchers want to study the influence of PEOU, PU, PT, SN, and PRS on BI. The representation of the hypothesis in the model is as follows. Methodology. The data were collected through survey questionnaire that distributed to Malaysian people. 250 data were collected for this study. The researcher used partial least square structural equation modeling (PLS-SAM) approach. This approach is to maximize the explained variance of the endogenous latent construct, which is dependent variables. The researcher used FYP 7.0 to generate the result. The result mainly divided into two parts, which is assessment of measurement model and assessment of structural model. The assessment of measurement model. There are four main criteria for measurement model. The measurement model including indicator reliability, internal consistency, convergent validity, as well as discriminant validity. Indicator reliability. It is used to show if indicator variance is explained by its indicator construct. The indicator reliability examined through outer weight. The outer weight should lower than 0.5. Thus, indicator reliability is significant because all of outer weight is lower than 0.5. Next is internal consistency. For this part, it is used to examine whether a set of indicators are reliable in reflective construct. The consistency is examined through Cronbach alpha and composite reliability. The internal consistency will achieve if the value is greater than 0.7. Therefore, all variables in reflective construct are achieved. Besides that, convergent validity. Convergent validity is used to measure how an indicator positively correlated with other indicators in the same reflective construct. It is to examine through average variance extracted (AVE). The value of AVE must be greater than 0.5 to achieve convergent validity. Thus, all AVE values are greater than 0.5 and convergent validity in reflective construct achieved. Furthermore, discriminant validity. Discriminant validity is used to measure how reflective constructs differ from each other. It can be assessed by two different approaches, which are funnel lacquer and cross-loading. For funnel lacquer, it is used to examine discriminant validity at construct level. Based on the table, all the square root of AVE greater than all inter-construct correlation. Therefore, discriminant validity is achieved. While cross-loading is to examine discriminant validity at indicator level. Based on the tables, all indicator loading of its construct is greater than other cross-loading of other construct in similar columns. As the result, there is discriminant validity within construct. Moreover, assessment of structural model. It is used to examine the statistical significance of structural path, predictive relevance, and predictive power. Predictive relevance. Predictive relevance is examined to determine the model validity. The model validity is examined through Q-square. The value of Q-square must be greater than 0. Based on the table, the Q-square for all variables are greater than 0. Thus, the model validity is achieved. Then predictive power. Predictive power is examined to show how well the endogenous been explained by independent variables. It is examined through R-square. For instance, the R-square for BI is 0.549, which means BI is influenced 55% by dependent variable while the rest is 45% explained by other causes. Furthermore, statistical significance of structural path. It is to demonstrate the statistical significant path coefficient using p-values. P-values must be lower or equal to 0.05 to achieve significant relationship. Based on the table, the researcher concluded that 5 out of 6 relationship is significant. Discussion. Research hypothesis 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 are supported, while research hypothesis 5 not supported. The outcome support the finding of Malek, Kumra, and Srivastava, who discovered that POU and PU have a significant impact on BI. Subjective norm has been identified as one of the most important elements influencing the decision to use an e-wallet. There is a positive relationship between trust and behavioral intention when it comes to consumer adoption of new mobile technologies. However, the result shows that PRS do not have significant influence on BI amongst Malaysians. The findings differ from the previous research highlighted the need for security and privacy for e-wallet. This demonstrates that Malaysians have sufficiently grasped and adapted to digital environment to eliminate these variables. The implication for practice. The use of e-wallet keep gaining popularity because of the convenient services and greater flexibility in payment option. Malaysian people are more than ready to accept e-wallet technology. Based on the survey conducted in this study, the finding presented that 74% of 18 to 24 years old use e-wallet to make payment. This indicates that in the next generation, mobile wallet provider will have a built-in client base. Young people are already seeing the advantages of mobile wallet and are using them as their preferred method of payment. Kaur 2017 discovered that 70% of Malaysians who reside in cities prefer to pay using digital platform rather than cash. Therefore, electronic payment will replace traditional payment in the future. The limitation. There are few flaws in this research. First, this study has investigated the significant effect on behavioral intention to use e-wallet services. Future research may try incorporating the effective or emotion component of motivational factor to have a better understanding of user intention. Another issue is the researchers have difficulties to approach the respondent. Random people were asked to participate in the survey and may not apply to the entire target group. Future research should focus on respondents who use e-wallet. Lastly, several constructs have been introduced to TAM in subsequent years that were not examined in this study. As a result, there is still room for greater research in this field.
I think that's all from me. Thank you and stay safe.